Hello, friends. This is Caleb Warnock, and I have a new microphone, so hopefully you can hear me better in this video than you've been able to hear me in the other videos. Tonight it is snow on the ground for the first time this winter. It snowed on and off most of the day, and the snow actually stayed on the ground and did not melt, and it is cold. So I thought. And it was too cold and snowy for me to go out, even in the greenhouses, and gather flowers. And so I thought, well, what can we do for fun? And then I decided to get some indigo powder. This is natural indigo, and it is easier to just buy it in the powder. It's already been extracted. Not necessarily cheap, but I can't not I mean not terribly expensive. I think this 4 ounce bag, it says it was from theyarntree.com. I think it cost me $20 or something like that. I can't remember. So, and a little tiny bit of indigo goes a long way. And so I've just taken a spoon and taken just a tiny, tiny bit of indigo powder. And then, as always, um, just I've just add a bit of water. And because this is a dry powder, it does need a bit of mulling to get it to take up the water. So even though it's powder and it mulls very easily, it still does need to soak a little bit. And it gets smoother if you mull it while it soaks, and even if you let it sit for a minute. And then while I was practicing for you, I decided that with indigo, what would be nice is to make a snow scene because it's cold and snowy. So this is what I made, and so this is what we're going to make together. I just thought I'd make it again. I'm going to make a couple of little changes to it. It's not great art, but it is great fun to make the art. And it's nice to be able to do it with all natural. I mean, this is just water and indigo extract from the indigo leaf. So let's get started, shall we? So here's my puddle of paint, and I'm using my little liner brush, and I'm just going to do the same scene down here. When I did this before, I was trying to make kind of a jaunty little house, and so I want to do that again. And I think what kind of makes it jaunty is to give it a little bit of a curve. And maybe it's a little Dr. Seuss. I don't know. I mean, it definitely is. But it's just the kind of mood that I'm in. Okay. So I'm putting these lines on here, and I want them to be kind of dark. And then, oh, I forgot to do a chimney. I should have done a chimney. We'll have to do the chimney so it's visible on the other side instead of this side. Okay, so there's a chimney. And then because I want to use marigold paint on this one, I used marigold paint to put in these windows. What I actually want to do this time is try to make these windows larger. So because I went to all the trouble to make marigold paint so that it could look like there were a warm fire on the inside and light coming out from the fire. And it didn't, I mean, it doesn't show really great. So I wanted to make these windows a little larger. But I did make an arch doorway, and I still do like the arch doorway. So I want to do that again. Do an arch doorway. And then we'll just take a little more watered down maybe I'll just take one drop of water and put it off to the side here and see if we can, because for the snow part, we don't want the color to be so dark. We want the building color to be dark, but for snow, we kind of want it to be a little lighter, don't you think? All right, now before I go too far, I feel like we should take this. Oh, there's a little bug or something. And I want to make a pathway from the door. And then I'm kind of dry brushing a little bit just to make these. And again, it's not fine art. It's not even great art, but it's great fun. And, when it gets cold, we just have to think of fun things to do. Okay, now I'm going to take some of this indigo that is a little darker because we really want this house to be anchored to the ground. And then we want to do some highlighting. Also, we want this path to be pretty visible. I mean, I guess if we really wanted to do something, we could maybe even make this path a bit brown, but I don't think we're going to go that far. Okay, what do we think? All right, I like it. Now, I'm going to grab an ingredient that we have never used on this channel before, an all natural ingredient, but we've never used it before. And we're going to have to hurry because the computer is threatening to run out of video. This is glare, and glare is one of the oldest paint mediums in the world and has been used for thousands of years and is made from egg whites, and we don't need tons. And so I will, since I'm using this, I guess I'm going to have to show you guys how to use it, but how to make it. I'm not going to do that in this video. I made this from the eggs from our own chickens, and I just want to use a little bit. In fact, what I'm going to do is just even take, I was going to take some of this paint, but I really want this to be pretty dark because I'm just going to put a touch of indigo powder right into the glare. And this is glare, this is about 50% glare, 50% water mix, because on this one, I thought it would be nice to print this snowflake on here. And I just got this, it came in a package of different things from the $1.25 store, and I've had it for a while. And I think it looks good on there, and I would like to do it on here too, and I might do one down here too. But I thought it's not, well, I made that and I thought it's kind of not dark enough. And it didn't print very well because this was just water. And on the wood, it didn't print super well. So we need it to be just a little bit more viscous, a little stickier, a little thicker. Not too thick, not too sticky, but a little bit. So that's why I wanted to just put a little bit of glare in some of this paint. And paint that onto here to see if we can make a better print of this snowflake. Because again, this is kind of whimsical. We've made this house. I mean, I thought this was a little jaunty. This is like almost like it's been hit by a hurricane, but it's still kind of fun. I don't know. That's the mood I'm in today, is just a little bit surreal. Um, okay, so now I have painted this onto here, and I just want to drop that on there and then press. And I've got paint on my fingertips, so I'm not trying not to get any paint on the paper except for the print. Trying not to get my fingers that have got paint on them. Okay, okay, now see, I like that. That is definitely a better print. This is definitely a better print than that. So while we're at it, I don't know, I think it would be fun to do one more down here. Is it overkill? It might be, but you know, whatever. So I'm gonna put paint back on here again, and then just do one, I think right here. Just give it a good press, pretty firm. Press, 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 and then pop it off. I think that looks great. I really like that. Okay, now, as I said, my computer, because my granddaughter and my son-in-law were just here, and so it took me longer to get started than I had anticipated, and now that I'm ready to paint with you, my friends, the computer says I'm running out of the computer says I'm running out of battery. So now to put the shadows on this house, I really want to be pretty light. I don't want to go too dark on the blue color. And we've had enough time that these original lines that I painted on here are pretty dry, so it's not smearing too much or even running the color. I mean, because it is watercolor, we could run that color on purpose if we had done it. But we don't want that because we want the lines of the house to remain individual and pretty visible. So it's kind of dried and it's now I'm gonna do, which is good, this is what we want. Now I'm gonna try to do some brush strokes on this roof so that it at least has the impression of a roof. And then I would like to go in and put in maybe just a bit darker, like that. And then I feel like we need some shadowing because this one did not have any shadowing. And I think some shadowing. In fact, we should just add some shadow because it's bothering me. So let's add some shadowing onto this one while we're at it. See, doesn't that look better? Okay, I like that a lot. Oh, we forgot the chimney. How come you all watching didn't remind me? You guys should have reminded me. Okay, now, all right, now it's very sketchy wampus. This whole house is pretty sketchy wampus. Okay, I found some more dark paint underneath the molar. And again, I just want to root this. I want the darkest color to kind of ground this house here. Okay, and then I want to take this brush and I put down another drop of water and take this brush and get this nice and wet because I want to do these snowflakes because that's sort of the whole fun of doing something like this. Oh, I forgot I was going to do a tree too, but kind of late to do a tree because we did the snowflake. So maybe we won't be doing tree. But add in just tapping snowflakes because it's kind of fun to tap snowflakes. And then before we run out of battery, we gotta clean this up so that we can do marigold. In another video you have seen me, this is powdered dried marigold petals from my garden. That's all it is just marigold petals that I put into a coffee grinder to grind. And we don't need tons. Oh, but we do have to clean this up because, so I'm gonna take my cloth here, see if I can find a part of this because we're gonna get the blue paint off of this molar. Oh, and that reminds me that we kind of need to do something with this door. Okay. Let's put one drop because I want this to be pretty orange, the color. So I don't want to dilute it. If I put too much water on there, it's going to dilute it. And then this is citric acid. I just keep all of my mordants in a little baby food jar just because it's easier to get them in and out. Okay. Now that should be enough orange paint to at least get us some light coming out these windows. Let's see if I can get the light to come in the windows without getting any of that blue to smear on there. Normally we would wait a little longer, but since we're filming, see, now some of that blue has smeared onto there because I am being too in a hurry. And then we just want to take a little reflection under each window out into the snow. And we're done. So yeah, this was meant to be a little whimsical, but instead I think it looks a little bit like a hurricane hit it. So that's on me. Well, it's all on me. It's my art. Let's see if we can get some of this dark paint. And I think this would be improved maybe if we just, or maybe there's no improving it. For all I know, there's no improving it. I don't know. What do you think, friends? The fun of it is just to work with the marigold and the indigo. And now everything on here is 100% natural. We haven't used any plastics. We haven't used any benzene. We haven't used any paint with anything naughty in it. I mean, I understand that most people are using that, but there are some options. I'm not saying that nobody can use commercial paint or anything like that. I'm just saying that it's fun to make your own. It's fun, it's inexpensive, and you know, whatever. Okay. I just think that's fun. Thank you for playing with me, friends. Thank you. And, indigo, marigold, snowy night, relax, have fun, and I will be with you again soon.